Hello guys, welcome to Unbounded Jagtalk podcast. This is the second episode of 100 Ways of Motivate Yourself. Simplify your life. The great Green Bay Packers football coach Vinci Lombardi was once asked why his world championship team, which had so many multi-talented players, ran such a simple set of plays. It's hard to be aggressive when you are confused, he said. One of the benefits of creatively planning your life is that it allows you to simplify. You can weed out, delegate, and eliminate all activities that don't contribute to your projected goals. Another effective way to simplify your life is to combine your tasks. Combining allows you to achieve two or more objectives at once. For example, as I plan my day-to-day, I notice that I need to shop for my family after work. That's a task I can't avoid because we are running out of everything. I also note that one of my goals is to finish reading my daughter Stephanie's book report. I realized too that I have made a decision to spend more time doing things with all my kids, as I have tended lately to just come home and crash at the end of a long day. An aggressive orientation to the day, making each day simpler and stronger than the day before, allows you to look at all of these tasks and small goals and ask yourself, what can I combine? After some thought, I realized that I can combine shopping with doing something with my children. I also think a little further and remember that grocery store where we shop has a little valley with tablets in it. My kids love to make lists and go up and down the aisles themselves to fill the grocery cart. So I decided to read my daughter's book reports at the deli while they travel the aisles for food. They say where I'm sitting and keep coming over to update me on what they are choosing. After an hour or so, three things have happened at once. First of all, I have done something with the kids. Second, I have read through the book reports. And third, the shopping has been completed. In her book Brain Building, Marlene recommends something similar to simplify life. She advises that we make a list of absolutely every small task that has to be done, say over the weekend, and then do them all at once. In one exciting focused action, a manic blitz, in other words, fuse all small tasks together and make the doing of them with us so that the rest of the weekend is absolutely free to create as we wish. Bob Cotter, who I will talk about later as the president of Infincom, has the most simplified time management system I have ever seen in my life. His method is this: do everything right on the spot. Don't put anything unnecessary into your future. Do it now, so that future is always wide open. Watching him in action is always an experience. I'll be sitting in his office and I'll mention the name of a person whose company I would like to take my training to in the future. Will you make a note to get in touch with him and let him know I'll be calling? I ask. Make a note? He asks in horror. The next thing I know, before I can say anything, Bob's wheeling in his chair and dialing the person on the phone. Within 2 minutes, he's scheduled a meeting between the person and me, and after he puts down the phone, he says, "Okay, done, what's next?" I tell him I have prepared the report he wanted on training for his service teams and I hand it to him. And you can read it later and get back to me, I offer. Hold on a second, he says, already deeply absorbed in reading the report's content. After 10 minutes or so, during this time he is read much of what interests him aloud. The report has been digested, discussed and filed. It's a time management system like no other. What could you call it? Perhaps handle everything immediately? It keeps Bob's life simple. He is an aggressive and successful CEO, and as Vinci Lombardi said, It's hard to be aggressive when you are confused. Most people are reluctant to see themselves as being creative because they associate creativity with complexity. But creativity is simplicity. Marshall said that he could actually see his masterpiece, the David, in the huge, rough rock he discovered in a marble quarry. His only job, he said, was to carve away that what was not necessary, and he would have the statue. Achieving simplicity in our cluttered and hectic lives is also an ongoing process of carving away what's not necessary. My most dramatic experience of the power of simplicity occurred in 1984 when I was hired to help write the television and radio advertisement for Jim Colby, a candidate for United States Congress running in Arizona's 5th District. In that campaign, I saw firsthand how focus, purpose, and simplicity can work together to create a great result. Based on prior political history, Colby had about a 3% chance of winning the election. His opponent was a popular incumbent congressman during a time when incumbents were almost never defeated by challengers. In addition, Colby was a Republican in a largely Democratic district. And the final strike against him was that he had tried once before to defeat this same man, Jim, and had lost. The voters had already spoken on the issue. Colby himself supplied the campaign with its sense of purpose, a tireless campaigner with unwavering principles. He emanated his sense of mission, and we all drew energy from him. Political consultant John, one of the shrewdest people I have ever worked with, kept us all focused with consistent campaign strategy. It was a job of the advertising and media work to keep it strong and simple. Although our opponent ran nearly 15 different TV ads, each one about a different issue, we determined from the outset that we would stick to the same message throughout, from the first ad to the last. We basically ran the same ad over and over. We knew that although the district was largely Democratic, our polling showed that philosophically it was more conservative. Colby himself was a conservative, so his views coincided with the voters better than our opponents did. Although the voters we are not yet aware of it. By having each of our ads be focused on our simple theme, who better represents you, we gained rapidly in the polls as elections night neared. The night-long celebrations of Jim Colby's upset victory brought a huge message home to me. The simpler you keep it, the stronger it gets. Colby won a close victory that night. But he remains in Congress today, or more than 10 years later, and his victory margins are now huge. He has never complicated his message, and he has kept his politics strong and simple, even when it looked unpopular to do so. It's hard to stay motivated when you are confused. When you simplify your life, it's gather focus. The more you can focus your life, the more motivated it gets. 7th phase. Look for the lost gold. In this 7th phase, the author says, when I am happy, I see the happiness in others. When I am full of energy and hope, I see opportunities all around me. But when I am angry, I see other people's as unnecessarily tasty. When I am depressed, I notice that people's eyes look sad. When I am weary, I see the world as boring as unattractive. Who I am is what I see. If I drive into Phoenix and complain what a crowded, smoke-ridden mess this place is, I am really expressing what a crowded, smoke-ridden mess I am at that moment. If I had been feeling motivated that day and full of hope and happiness, I could just as easily have said, while driving into Phoenix, wow, what a thriving, energetic metropolis this is. Again, I would have been describing my inner landscape, not Phoenix's. Our self motivation suffers most from how we choose to see the circumstances in our lives. That's because we don't see things as they are, we see things as we are. In every circumstances, we can look for the gold or look for the flint, and what we look for, we find. The best starting point for self-motivation is in what we choose to look for in what we see around us. Do we see the opportunity everywhere? When I open my eyes in the morning, said Colin Wilson, I am not confronted by the word, but by a million possible words. It is always our choice which word do we want to see today. Opportunity is life's goal. It's all you need to be happy. It's the fertile person in which you grow as a person, and opportunities are like those subatomic quantum particles that come into existence only when they are seen by an observer. Your opportunities will multiply when you choose to see them. 8 ways. Push all your own buttons. In 8 ways, author says, have you ever peeked into the cockpit of a large airliner as you boarded a plane? It's an impressive display of buttons, levers, dials, and switches under one big windshield. What if, as you were boarding, you overheard the pilot say to the co-pilot, Joy, remind me, what does this set of buttons do? If I heard that, it would make it a rough flight for me. But most of us pilot our own lives that way. Without much knowledge of the instruments, we don't take the time to learn where our own buttons are or what they can do. From now on, make it personal commitment to notice everything that pushes your buttons. Make a note of everything that inspires you. That's your control panel. Those buttons operate your whole system of personal motivation. Motivation doesn't have to be accidental. For example, you don't have to wait for hours until a certain song comes on the radio that picks up your spirits. You can control what songs you hear. If there are certain songs that always lift you up, make a tape or CD of those songs and have it ready to play in your car. Go through all of your music and create a greatest motivational hits. Take for yourself, use the movies too. How many times do you leave a movie feeling inspired and ready to take on the world? Whenever that happens, put the name of the movie in a special notebook that you might label the right buttons. 6 months to a year later, you can rent the movie and get the same inspired feeling. Most movies that inspire us are even better the second time around. You have much more control over your environmental than you realize. You can begin programming yourself concisely to be more and more focused and motivated. Get to know your control panel and learn how to push your own buttons. The more you know about how you operate, the easier it will be to motivate yourself. 9th ways. Build a track record. In 9 ways, author says, it's not what we do that makes us tired. It's what we don't do. The tasks we don't complete cause the most fatigue. I was giving a motivational seminar to a utility company recently, and during one of the breaks, a small man who looked to be in his 60s came up to me. My problem, he said, is that I never seem to finish anything. I am always starting things, this project and that, but I never finish. I am always off on to something else before anything is completed. He then asked whether I could give him some affirmations that might alter his belief system. He correctly saw the problem as being one of the belief because he did not believe he was a good finisher. He did not finish anything, so he wanted a magical word or phrase to repeat to himself that would brainwash him into being different. Do you think affirmations are what you need? I asked him. If you had to learn how to use a computer, could you do it by sitting on your bed and repeating the affirmations? I know how to use a computer. I am great at using computers. I am a wizard on a computer. He admitted that affirmations would probably have no effect on his ability to use a computer. The best way to change your belief system is to change the truth about you. I said, we believe the truth faster than we believe false affirmations. To believe that you are a good finisher, you must begin by building a track record of finished things. He followed my suggestion with great enthusiasm. He bought a notebook and at the top of the first page he wrote, "Things I have finished." Each day he made a point of setting small goals and finishing them. Whereas in the past he would be sweeping his front walk and leave it unfinished when the phone rang. Now he would let the phone ring so he could finish the job and record it in his notebook. The more things he wrote down, the more confident he became that he was truly becoming a finisher, and he had a notebook to prove it. Consider how much more permanent his new belief was than if he had tried to do it with affirmations. He could have whispers to himself all night long, "I'm a great finisher." But the right side of his brain would have known better. It would have said to him, "No, you are not." Stop worrying about what you think of yourself and start building a track record that proves that you can motivate yourself to do whatever you want to do. 10th Ways. Welcome the unexpected. In 10th Ways, author says, most people do not see themselves as being creative, what we all are. Most people say my sister's creative, she paints, or my father's creative, he sings and writes music. We miss the point that we all are creative. One of the reasons we don't see ourselves that way is that we normally associate being creative with being original. But in reality, creativity has nothing to do with originality. It has everything to do with being unexpected. You don't have to be original to be creative. In fact, I sometimes helps to realize that no one is original. Even Mozart said that he never wrote an original melody in his life. His melodies were all recombinations of old folk melodies. Look at Elvis Presley. People thought he was a true original when he first came upon the scene, but he was not. He was just the first white person to ever sing with enthusiasm. Although Elvis was not original, he was creative because he was so unexpected. If you believe you are created in this image of your creator, then you must therefore be creative. Then if you're willing to see yourself as creative, you can begin to cultivate into in everything you do. You can start coming up with all kinds of unexpected solutions to the challenges that life throws at you. So that is for today, guys. If you like this video, then like, comment, share and subscribe. I'll see you soon in my next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.